Shalom, shalom. I welcome you to Precept Basics, DMV line upon line. I am Elder Pittman, and we will continue with the parable of the rod, the rock, and the water, part 2, the rock, part 1. In this teaching, we will look to see if the rock has any significance in our lives today, or was it just a teaching for our forefathers? What are parables? It's no use to read parables and we don't know what it is. So what are parables? Parables are stories that teach us spiritual lessons. So when we are reading parables, we need to be concerned about finding the spiritual lesson that is being taught. Parables are truths using everyday illustration we can relate to. Psalms 78, verse 1 through 2. Give ear, O my people, to my law. Give ear, O my people, my law. Incline, turn, bow. Yield your ears to the words of my mouth. Yield your understandings to the words, to the message of my mouth, of my speech. And this is how he's going to deliver it to us. I will open my mouth. I will open my speech in a parable. I will utter, I will declare dark sayings, mysteries, declaring of something hidden to make known, to manifest. Dark sayings. We have to get the understanding of dark sayings, of parables. And he does not change. He says, I will open my mouth in a parable. I will declare dark saying of old. So he's not making known anything that is new. He's declaring the same thing of old, showing that his word does not change. His word does not go out of style. But many of us, we declare that God has spoke directly to them. I heard him say. That is what many continue to reveal. God told me. But here he's telling us how he's going to communicate. Numbers 12, verse 6 through 8a. And he said, hear now my words. That's to us all. Providing there be a prophet, a mouthpiece among you, I, the Spirit of God, he's getting ready to declare how he's going to make himself known unto us today. I, the Spirit of God, will make myself known unto him in a what? Vision. Including will speak unto him in a dream. Verse 7, my servant Moses, not so. He did not speak to Moses the way that he speaks to us today. Who is faithful in all my house. Verse 8. With him I will what? Speak mouth to mouth, speech to speech. Even apparently, and not in dark speeches. He did not speak to Moses in mysteries. Including the similitude of the Spirit of God shall he remember. So whatever is spoken to Moses, he remember. But today, Jehovah does not speak to us in this manner. He speaks to us in dark speeches, dark sayings, parables. Why? Deuteronomy 29 and 29. The secret things belong to the Spirit of God, our guide. But those things revealed unto us and to our children forever. The secret things. He's going to reveal it unto us. He's going to disclose it. He's going to manifest it. He's going to show us. And to our children forever. Why? That we may do all the words of the law. See, most of us have a tendency to be outspoken in ignorance. Let's look at this. Job 38, 1 and 2. Then the Spirit of God answered Job out of the whirlwind and said, who this that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? Who is this that ignorant, basically spiritual ignorance, ignorant counsel, advice? We say many things, and many preachers, they darkeneth the counsel by words without knowledge, without consideration. They don't think. So we have to be careful. Understand the reason why he teaches us this way through parables and dark saying, Isaiah 55, 8 and 9, for my thoughts, my intent, my consideration are not your thoughts. Neither are your ways my ways, says the Spirit of God. Verse 9. For as the heavens, comparing, as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways, my path, higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So in order for us to understand these parables, we must do this. 1 Peter 5 and 6. Humble, submit yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, the mighty power, the mighty authority of God, that he may what? His purpose, if we humble, that he may exalt, glorify, honor, magnify you in due time. He wants to elevate in due time. So with these parables, when we look at them and we read them, let's look at 1 Corinthians 13, 12a and c. These parables, these dark sayings, these dark speeches, for now we see through a glass darkly. Glass darkly shows us that we have the lack of understanding spiritual things. Looking through a glass darkly, this metaphor shows our limited perception of divine truth. And because of that, now I know in part. I know in pieces, a portion. First Corinthians 2, 10 through 12. However, God has revealed them unto us by his Spirit. Perfectly clear. And it has to be revealed to us by his Spirit. Why? For the Spirit, for Jehovah searches all things, yea, the deep things of God. 11. For what man, male or female, knoweth the things of a man? Only the spirit of man, which is in him. That's all we know. Even so, the things of God knoweth no man, male or female. However, the Spirit of God, he knows the deep things of God. 12. Now we have received not the spirit of the world. Jehovah, Christ is not going to give us the knowledge of the world. However, the Spirit, which is of God, the only thing that he has to offer to us is that which is of God. Why? That we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. Clear. It's imperative that we learn and understand parabolic language, dark speeches, and dark sayings. But there is a problem. Second Timothy chapter 3, verse 7 through 8. Here's a problem. Ever learning. We're learning other things and not the things of God. We don't want to spend time to unravel his parables, dark speeches, and saying. But we will look at other methods, theology, and other things, ever learning, and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth, the understanding of the truth, the wisdom of the truth. Watch this. Now, as Janus and Jambres withstood Moses, this is why many of us can't come to the knowledge of the truth, because we withstand against those that's bringing us the truth. So do these also resist the truth? You resist it. Men of corrupt mind, unclean, wicked minds, wicked understandings, reprobate concerning the faith. You're not interested. 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 3 through 4. For the time will come when they will not endure, they will not abide, they will not bear sound doctrine, sound instructions and teachings. They will not endure sound principles. However, after their own lust, desires shall they heap. Shall they pile to themselves teachers that's going to say what they want them to say, having itching ears, itchy understandings. Verse 4. And they shall turn away understandings from the truth, and shall be turned into fables. Fables are nothing but lies. Fables are falsehoods, which means deceit. Psalms 119, 118. Thou hast trodden down all them that err, that wander, that stray, that go astray from thy statutes. For their deceit is falsehood. Here, the Bible, this text right here gives you the definition of the word deceit, which is falsehood. Fables are lies, full of deceit and falsehoods. Psalms 144 and 8. Whose message, whose speaketh vanity. You speak nothing but pride. And their right hand is a right hand, a right power of falsehood, of deceit. You're full of deception. You have your own agenda. We have to wake up and give ear. Look what Paul says in Galatians chapter 5, 16 through 17. I say then, walk, observe, journey in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust, the desire of the flesh. Verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, including the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary. They oppose one another. They are against one another. They resist the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that you would. We have to be careful that we are not walking carnal. Our path is in the spirit and not in carnality. Romans 8:7-8. Because the carnal mind, the fleshly mind, the fleshly understanding, the fleshly heart is enmity against God. Galatians tells you contrary. Enmity against God. For it is not subject, obedient. What? The carnal mind, the fleshly mind. It is not under authority to the law of God. It's not submissive, and it's not governed to the law of God. Neither indeed can be. Verse 8. So then they that are in the flesh, in the carnal mind, cannot please God. It's perfectly clear. When we allow the Bible and not our opinion to dictate to us. Let's see something else. 2 Corinthians 2:14. However, the natural man, and we know who the natural man is, receiveth not the things. What things? The parables, the dark sayings, the dark speeches of the Spirit of God. You don't receive the things of the Spirit of God, thy guide. Because to you, God things, they are foolishness unto you, to him. Neither can he know them. This is the reason why we don't understand parables and dark sayings. And we look at everything literal, damaging our spiritual journey. Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. Now, the things of God, his word, his parables, dark sayings are spiritual. They are celestial, dealing with the heavenly, which is the location where the wisdom, the Spirit came from. It also let us know where our spiritual meat come from. 1 Corinthians 10:1, verse 3-4. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye, put your name there, should be ignorant. How that all our fathers were under the cloud, under the covering, and all passed through the sea. Watch this, verse 3. Including, did all eat, did all learn the same spiritual meat. They learned the same celestial meat, the same heavenly meat. 4. And did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. Spiritual food. They had, our forefather had all, did eat, did learn the same spiritual meat, did learn the same doctrine, spiritual meat, provisions, food, which is doctrine, which come from the heavenlies. Verse 4, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. We today should be drinking the same spiritual drink, the same, eating the same spiritual meat, learning the same spiritual meat. And if we are obedient and we understand these parables, what Jehovah is saying, we would not have all these different denominations running around. Spiritual doctrine. And we have to understand this. Because later we got to look at the provision and the sustenance. And did all drink the same spiritual drink. What did we drink? What did they drink? The word that came down to guide them. Jehovah, Christ, who came down. For they drank of that spiritual rock. Spiritual rock. Who is this rock that followed them? The Bible tells you, including that rock was Christ. That spiritual rock was Christ. Appointed. Christ. Appointed. Christ. Blessed. Give knowledge to us. But we too busy trying to do our own thing instead of understanding this rock. First Corinthians 3:11. For our foundation can no man, male or female, lay that is laid. This rock, which is a foundation, no one, no human being can lay the foundation that Christ laid, which is Jesus Christ. So Jesus Christ laid the foundation. He is the cornerstone. He is the promise. And we have to build on him and not what we think, which is salvation, not the man, Christ, the anointed, the appointed one. And he was appointed to lay the foundation so that we can build upon it. Because he is our strength. I want to look at something. Matthew 16 through 18. And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, thou perfection, the Christ, the anointed, appointed one, the servant of the living God. Jesus, salvation, is the servant of the living God. Just like we are the servants of God. And us being the servants, we did not lay the foundation. 17. And salvation. See, we have to understand dealing with these parables is that they are spiritual. And salvation answered and said to him, watch this, blessed. Peter, you was given wisdom. Blessed art thou. Wisdom given thou, Simon Barjona. Where did this wisdom come from? Watch this. For flesh and blood had not manifested, revealed it unto thee. Peter, you know what you know because but my Father, which is in heaven. My Creator, which is in heaven. Think about it. Verse 18. And I say also unto thee, that thou art Peter. Let's look at something. There's a comma that's there. And a comma clarifies what is being said. So we're going to clear this up. The world, many understand this text to be something else. But Peter understand this is spiritual. So, dealing with this comma, it introduces a brief pause to separate various elements. Principles. we see here that Christ is the first principle, the main chief component. Because everything is centered on him. And upon this rock, and many would tell you that they're building upon Peter. How in the world are we building upon Peter and flesh and blood did not reveal what Peter had said? And salvation is the foundation. Christ is the anointed one that was appointed to be the servant, to lay the foundation. And upon this rock, upon salvation, I will build my church, my assembly, my congregation. And remember, the knowledge of God is not the knowledge of man. I will build my church, and the first thing that comes to your mind is a building. I will build my church. He's talking about it's going to be built upon Christ himself, salvation, offering salvation to his congregation, his assembly. And the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. Think about it. God speaks to us spiritually. And we must understand spiritually. We don't need to look at the works of men. Watch this. 1 Peter 2, verse 6 through 8. Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture. Watch. Remember, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone. You got to know who the chief cornerstone is. The chief cornerstone is the foundation, is the component that we build upon. Chief, the head. The chief is the guide, cornerstone. He's the head. He's the guide. Stone represent our path. Elect. Who was elect? The chief cornerstone. The rock. Precious. And he that believeth on him. Well, we not to believe on Peter. We believe on the chief cornerstone. We build our foundation on the chief cornerstone. And we got to be careful. But if we do that, and he that believeth on him, the cornerstone, the chief cornerstone, shall not be confounded. We won't become confused about parables, about his teachings, about the words of Jehovah. Verse 7. Unto you, for that reason which believe, he is precious. He is precious. However, unto them which be disobedient, you can be disobedient if you want to. The stone which the builders disallow, the same made the head of the corner. Verse 8. And a stone of stumbling. Not only is he the chief, but he's a stumbling and a rock, a stone of offense. Even to them which stumble. A stone of stumbling block. He becomes a stumbling block. He becomes a snare and offense to them which stumble at the word, which snare at the word, being disobedient, whereunto also they were appointed. Understand, this rock causes stumbling in the lives of the disobedience. You got those which stumble at the word. That's a spiritual fall. They don't have a spiritual understanding of the word. Because refusing to do it the Most High way. We conclude with this scripture, Romans 9:33. It's a repeat. As it is written, remember, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone, including rock of offense. Here it go again. And whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. Believe on the stumbling stone. Believe on the rock. There's more to it. This rock, which we have to indulge ourselves in. So with this teaching, think about, meditate, muse. And with that, I say shalom to each and every one. Shalom.